In today's gaming news, pre-purchasing Warlords of Draenor gets you a free level 90 immediately, Loadout launches at the end of the month, and could the recent trend of buying into alphas ruin games? Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. Force here with your day's gaming news. First up today, the upcoming World of Warcraft expansion Warlords of Draenor will be including a free level 90. We just recently found out, however, that if you pre-purchase the expansion, you will get that level 90 immediately. Well, not right this second because pre-purchasing isn't available. It will be becoming available sometime soon according to them. But yes, pre-purchasing the Warlords of Draenor expansion gets you a level 90 character upgrade when you make that pre-purchase, giving you time to play around with it prior to the actual launch of the expansion. Now, this was all revealed during a blog post on the official World of Warcraft website. In that post, they also revealed that they will be allowing people to purchase level 90 upgrades beyond the one that you're going to be getting for free when you pre-purchase that expansion. So, how do you guys feel about this? The notion of being able to buy your way into a level 90 character. Now, that isn't the end game character. You're still going to have to level it up and everything. But I think especially with the prevailing notion that in MMOs, the only thing that really matters is the end game. All Blizzard is really doing here is making it easier for people to get to said endgame. And I really honestly think that this is a very smart business move, at the very least for Blizzard, because it will entice people who maybe haven't played the game in a few years to come back knowing that they're going to have a high level character and they only have a few more levels to go and before they can jump right into endgame PvP and PvE content. But how do you guys feel about this news? Next up in news, the game Loadout will be launching in just a few weeks. This is an upcoming free-to-play, over-the-top third-person shooter that focuses on high levels of customization for your weapons. You can make all sorts of crazy things like automatic rifles that shoot exploding mines and rocket launchers and just absurd stuff. It really is kind of crazy. You can make a rocket launcher that shoots a healing rocket. I mean, I know that doesn't sound that crazy, but trust me, there's tons of weapon customization in this game, sort of akin to what you see in Borderlands with these crazy weapon type combinations, except you get to decide how you want to put these things together. Now, this is a free-to-play game, meaning there is a monetary system, but from what I've heard, and from what I remember playing, this game hit early access, I think it was last spring of 2013, I believe, is when it hit early access. And I played it, and I didn't think the pay system seemed that bad, and I've heard it's not that bad either. So I definitely suggest giving this game a look. It is again, free-to-play third-person shooter, and it feels very frantic. It's actually very reminiscent to me of sort of the fast-paced first-person shooters of yesteryear, if you will. Yeah, Loadout, it will be launching on January 31st, which is in just a few weeks. And last up in news today, I'd like to talk with you guys about the notion of purchasing your way into alphas. This is coming off of a Soapbox article that was posted today on Massively, in which the author expressed concerns about this prevailing trend that's taking place in the industry. And this plays into very much so the early access system as well. The notion of being able to buy your way into a game that is still in development. Now, in the article, they talk about MMOs such as upcoming games like Elite Dangerous or EverQuest Next Landmark or Shroud of the Avatar. And the idea that people can, in one way or another, be it through early access or some Kickstarter program or some program through their website, buy into a developing build of the game. And he expresses some major concerns with this. One of the first concerns is the idea that getting all of this community input, while for some games it can be great, it can also lead to design by committee, which really isn't always the best thing. You have these developers, you have these people who have a vision for a game, and if they listen too much to the people playing the game who are going to be asking for everything, because really that's what ends up happening, you can end up dealing with feature creep, the notion that you're trying to put way too much into a title because your fan base is screaming about all of these ideas and you're trying to please them all. Now, that's a concern. That's obviously something that can be dealt with by the developer. They can just pick and choose the things that they think are good that go along with their vision, but it is a concern because not every developer is always going to make the right choices when you're dealing with all of this input. The second concern, and I think a much bigger and real issue, is the idea that first impressions matter, and people will buy into this even though they know it's an early build, even though they know it's an alpha, they'll buy into it hoping that it's nearly feature complete, and their first impressions are terrible because it's an alpha. And then they go to their friends and they say, hey, you shouldn't play this game. I tried it out and it was pretty awful. And I know that's ridiculous, and you would say, well, those people are stupid because they're knowingly buying into an alpha and they should realize that it's not complete. And that is correct. You are right. They should realize that, and they should, give the game a fair shake. But doesn't always work out that way, and there will certainly be a good chunk of people, I feel, that will play these early builds, think it's garbage because it's not finished, it's buggy, there's all sorts of problems, and then when their friends ask, oh, what did you think about Shroud of the Avatar? They'll say, I played it, it wasn't that great, and then their friend won't buy it. And that's a legitimate concern. Word of mouth advertising, word of mouth encouragement for a game is a big deal. And if the first impressions aren't good because you're letting all these people buy into early builds of the game, even though they know it's an early build, this could probably lead to less sales of the game. And that's a concern for me, or a concern that I have for developers who choose to partake in such a system. But as always, I'd like to know what you guys think, so please let me know in the comment section below. And before we go, let's go ahead and talk about this weekend's deals. Starting over on Steam, you can get yourself Company of Heroes 2 for 60% off. It's also available to try for free this weekend. Saints Row 4 also available to try for free and at a 50% discount. Over on Green Man Gaming, BioShock Infinite, Tomb Raider, and Batman Arkham Asylum, the Game of the Year edition. All three of those games available for 75% off. And then finally on GOG.com, you can take part in the Winter Quest Fest, which includes discounts on games like Caesar 3, Gabriel Knight, King's Quest, and Police Quest. And that's going to do it for today's episode of the show. Again, please be sure to comment about any of the topics discussed here today in the comment section below. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Once again, this has been Force, and you have just been force-fed. Oh yeah, and there is one more concern about this early access or purchasable alpha game thing. What if you buy a game and it just never gets finished? You didn't wait for reviews, you decide to buy into a game early, and they just don't fit. I mean, I love Firefall. I think it has great potential, but it's pretty much been the same game for like 3 years now. I'm not even kidding.